And we might cross to Canberra in a moment. We're just waiting to see. Obviously, our links situation is complicated now. We're going to cross to Maria Jovanovic in Sydney now and see if there's any, in Canberra, pardon me, and see if there are any developments there. Maria?
Yeah, look, Nick, so far the news is just really breaking here at Parliament House. Not seeing a lot just yet. Certainly, though, a few months ago we did see similar information from intelligence about a Martin Place attack. There was sort of a suggestion that there would be a planned attack in a public execution type style of a random Australian in Martin Place, and the government at that time was really bolstering its anti-terror laws, its legislation. It's been working through a lot of that here in Canberra during the course of parliamentary sittings. Part of that we also saw were raids across Sydney and also Brisbane. So quite frightening now to see some form of potentially Islamic State related sort of circumstance here in Martin Place when it was actually pinpointed as a spot for a planned attack by intelligence officials months ago. Since then, police have certainly stressed that this investigation into people who are joining the Islamic State sort of fight, who are Australians and live here but are joining that sort of following, they've certainly been looking into finding these people, bringing them to court and having them go through the court process and trying to also start getting people within the Muslim community to, I suppose, really look out for it, mothers and fathers, sisters, brothers, to look out for these people and sort of try to see it in the first instance before it gets to that stage that police need to come knocking on doors.
Now, we heard when those threats were first made about beheading a member of the Australian public in a public place, Canberra moved to bolster security all around the country at military institutions, at police institutions, in public places and events, and also there at Parliament House in Canberra. Have you noticed any change in security there?
Well, today certainly we've sort of been inside, haven't had a chance to get outside yet. But particularly when security was being bolstered, you noticed a dramatic difference out the front. A lot of larger police presence, but also larger guns, very much visible at every entry point around Parliament House. Certainly at the car park entry points as well. And that was all part of the government's $630 million pouring in to bolster its anti-terror laws and also to make facilities like this more secure. A lot of defence personnel were also told that they may need to reconsider where they wear uniforms and just be conscious of even a uniform on a line just drying out as washing could potentially be seen as some form of a target. So we've seen huge changes since then. Certainly something like this, I would imagine, would also create, would lead to further changes, you'd have to imagine. I mean, the fact that intelligence had suspicions and had intelligence on an attack in Martin Place months ago, and then to see some form of it now, seriously, would have to lead to some other changes, you'd imagine.
Look, you'd imagine so. We've lost our live shot to what's happening in Martin Place. So we are, for now, in the dark. We're hoping to cross to Chris Reason very shortly. We've had Maria Jovanovic there in Sydney filling us in. Now, no doubt in Canberra, they will be scrambling. They will be having emergency meetings and the Prime Minister will be talking to our counter-terrorism chiefs to find out what is going on. Now, in a moment, as I say, we will cross to Chris Reason to see what he can see on the ground there. We've lost our live shot. Obviously, for police, security is key. We've got a potential terrorist situation inside Lindt Chocolate in Martin Place. We have, we believe, up to 12 hostages, and at this stage it appears there are 2 gunmen. There may be more. Police obviously very keen that their positions around there are not known to those inside the building. The area has been blocked off. The centre of Sydney is in lockdown. Police have tried to get as many people as they can out of office buildings in the surrounding area. Channel 7 in Sydney has been evacuated. The newsroom was one of the first places to be evacuated. It looked straight across at Lindt there. We had 12 hostages, many of whom were forced to hold their hands in the air and stand against the windows of Lindt Chocolate right in the public place. We are getting confirmation now that there are confirmation that there are 2 gunmen inside. That's certainly all that was monitored on our vision from Channel 7. Before that vision had to be cut for police security reasons. As I say, we'll cross to Chris Reason as soon as we can on this unfolding hostage situation in Sydney. This is certainly something that Islamic State had threatened. As we mentioned before, in September, police raids across Sydney unveiled a plan to behead a member of public in a public place. These are part of the plans of Islamic State to terrorise people. Now, as you can see, we have now moved to a shot further away from the Lindt Chocolate shop, and I believe Chris Reason is on the scene there. Chris, can you hear me?
I can, mate. I'm standing beside that camera that you've just cut to. Let me just take the viewers through what's happened here this morning in terms of the coverage here, and we apologise, it is so in a minute. This is a fast and changing situation. The police have basically evacuated us from the building, which, as your viewers should know, is right opposite where this incident is unfolding. Lindt Chocolate is at 53 Martin Place, Channel 7 is at 52 Martin Place. Well, we've been pushed further and further back for obvious reasons there, totally understandable ones. We're now in the street, Phillip Street, which runs just up to Lindt Chocolate. This camera is I think the only one that we're getting a live signal out from at the moment. There have been some extra details. I want to bring you up to speed on those as well. We've now narrowed down the timing when this event began. They're saying 9:44 a.m. this morning. A woman outside Lindt Chocolate saw a man carrying a blue sports bag with what she thought was a gun inside. She couldn't tell whether it was a handgun or a shotgun, but she discreetly and quickly moved to the police and informed them. They then approached the man who entered the Lindt Chocolate store there on Martin Place, and then this began. Other details we have. We're now hearing that Civil Aviation has shut down the airspace all around the city. Of the standard routines for an incident of this calibre and size, so no planes moving in or around this area. Obviously no people either. This was a pedestrianised area. Martin Place was pedestrianised back in 1980. It is the focal point and centre point of the business and banking district of Sydney. I'll paint the picture for you. Lindt Chocolate at the centre of this drama, right opposite, 20 metres away, the Reserve Bank of Australia. Opposite that, Channel 7, and diagonally opposite that, Westpac Bank, and the other diagonal is the Commonwealth Bank HQ. So it is surrounded by the financial institutions of the city, of the country really, but also the city. And right above us in Channel 7 are the government offices. The state government moved in months, including the office of the Premier and the Treasurer. And I think also important to note the significance of Martin Place. It is where the cenotaph is, which is a focal point of all Anzac Day ceremonies in this city every year in April. There could be no greater symbolic site perhaps to target than this one. It ranks right up there, not obviously as well House or the bridge, but it ranks right up there in terms of its significance, its geographic significance to the heart of this city.
Chris, can I ask you, we've seen a bolstering of security at military institutions, police institutions. I attended a police graduation recently, and they had 40 armed officers on hand just for security. Now, as you say, Martin Place was perhaps not the most high-profile target in Sydney, but one wonders, is it the softer of the high-profile targets? Have you seen in recent months an upgrade of security in the mall there?